Hello, I'm Mariana if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting into how to do this really interesting halo look. So I know this looks a little crazy. Like when I was editing it, I was like, oh my god, what is this? It's very interesting, I must say. And if you wear this out, I bet your outfit looks great. And this will just be the icing on the cake. So this is basically how to do a halo. You can use any color palette, not eyeshadow palette, like any color palette you'd like. This would look great with just some neutral browns or even like black or like, anything you want. But this is, I wanted to do something interesting, I guess. I filmed this like a week ago, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I think it's interesting. Let me know what you think about this look. This is like the final look, okay? So now we're gonna get into how to do it. Also, want to mention to please disregard my eyebrows. I was in a rush, okay? Um, Content though. So the first thing that I did was I took the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Natural. So this is like super light for me, and I like to use this concealer shade as an eyeshadow base to really make the pigment pop. If I did not use this eyeshadow base or like just a lighter concealer on my lids before putting on this bright pigment, then it would look a little bit more washed out. It wouldn't look as bright. So if you're going for that, that's totally fine. Like you really don't even need to use eyeshadow primer if you don't want to, but if you are going for something really vibrant, then I would suggest to use something that is nice and light and white. Also, this just creates a really nice blank canvas on your eyelid for any bright pigments, but also like just creating a nice even look and an even base layer for your eyeshadow. So the palette that I used was the Ace Beauté Floral Vintage palette. This palette is beautiful. She's so cute. And I literally used just like 2 to 3 shades in this palette. So if you don't have this palette, it will be linked down below. And I also would recommend using like similar shades if you want to go for this crazy bright interesting halo look, but I use a berry looking shade. I have this shade in a couple different palettes, so if you want to recreate this, then go for it with whatever you have. So I am using a really small packer brush, and I like to use a really small detail brush when I'm going for like interesting detailed eyeshadow looks like this, where I want to control the pigment, and I'm basically placing the darkest shade on the inner and outer corners while also creating like a V on the center of my lid. So we're keeping that open and keeping that bare. And the reason that I would advise to use a really small eyeshadow brush is so that when you blend out the edges, it's not taking that pigment and literally just spraying it everywhere. So we want to make sure that this is not like a muddy mess, and we want to make sure we're controlling the pigment that we are placing and blending out. So after I place the initial kind of shape, which is like, I don't even know how to describe this shape, it's like a sideways like slanted square on both ends, I blended out the edges to go in and blend the orange shade. So this is going to be like the transition shade going from dark to light. This is how you're going to create a beautiful gradient and make everything look nice and blended. I went ahead and added that right on top of the berry shade that I blended out. So I'm not kind of like taking it too far down so that the berry shade is just like eating up the orange, and I just want to make sure that it looks like it's gradually getting lighter as we go toward the brow bone. So after I went ahead and added the transition shade, I went into the center with like this like peachy white shade. This is like a yellowish white shade. It's not white, it's like a peachy yellowish. I don't even know how to describe this, but this is like the lightest shade in this look. So this is what's really gonna make the halo have a halo effect. So the two outer corners are the dark berry pigment, and then I went in with 2 layers of this peachy light shade in the center. So as you're gradually kind of adding more pigment and making it as pigmented as you want it or as bright as you want it, you want to go ahead and kind of blend it into the outer V that we created with the darker pigments. So this is just going to, again, make sure that everything is nice and blended. This is looking, it could be classified as a little bit harsh, but this is a very like sharp contrast between the shades. It's like a dark berry shade and then like a really light peach shade, but I decided to leave it like this, and I feel like it doesn't look bad. It's just, I don't know if this is wearable for everyday wear, but like I said, if you do end up wearing this, your outfit probably looks great. So I went ahead and cleaned up the outer corner with concealer to sharpen up the edge, and also I love to do this to make sure that both of my eyes and my eyeshadow is symmetrical. If you do kind of make any mistakes or like you place your halo, like the center, in like a little bit lopsided on the other side, this is what's going to make sure that your eyes look symmetrical from head on without having to redo everything. So then I went ahead and placed on these lashes. So these lashes are not flared out. They're like two different types of lashes. The first one is the ones that are kind of cat eye looking, that are fuller toward the outer corner, and then there's also doll eyelashes, which are fuller towards the center, and then they have like these separations in between, so it creates kind of like a doll eye look. This is going to open up your eye, and it pairs really well with the halo eyeshadow look because the focus is more on the center of the eye and not toward the outer corner of the eye, even though we do kind of have a cat eye thing going on toward the outer corner because we cleaned it up that way. I always like to uplift my eyes and have that shape no matter what we're doing on the eyelid, but this is going to just open up the eyes and really play on the halo eyeshadow look. So this is the final look without a smoked out lower lash line. I will be going in with like a halo lower lash line, but this is what it looks like. You can definitely stop here. But now we're going to go ahead and take it to another level of a halo lower lash line. So you're literally doing the same thing on the lower lash line. I took that same berry shade and I'm putting it on the inner and outer corner of my lower lash line. And then I also kind of smoked it out a little bit with that same orange shade. So this is just going to add a little bit more depth and definition to the lower lash line. Instead of just leaving that berry shade there like that, it's going to kind of smoke it out a little bit further and add some definition. So I then went in with that peachy shade and I put it in the center. So this is literally mimicking everything that's going on the top, and it just kind of takes that halo look to another level. And the way that you can play around with this depending on your eye color, like if you have blue eyes and you use like shades that really complement your eye color, it will really make your eyes pop because the center of your eye is the center of attention with this eyeshadow look. So last thing I did was go ahead and added in some mascara on the lower lash line, and this is the final look. I feel like the lower lash line really takes this halo thing to another level, especially because of the sharp contrast in the different colors that we're using and the fact that they're like right next to each other. It looks crazy, but it looks good. But again, let me know what you think. This is it again without the lower lash line smoked out, and then with the lower lash line and the halo on the lower lash line. So let me know which level of drama you prefer with this look. I like it, but I don't know if I would wear this again, which is so funny. I really don't know what I was thinking, you guys, but let me know what you think. But that's how you do a halo. Again, you don't have to have like a really sharp contrasting in colors, but honestly it looks really interesting to me. Okay, so like this video if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Please let me know what you want to see later on, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.